If you've ever opened ChatGPT and thought, what do I even type? You're not alone. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to talk to ChatGPT like a pro, how to get better answers, use it to work, learning, content, everyday life. So let's get right into it and let's get started. So what you can see here is you see this little ChatGPT screen right here. And let's go over some of the basics here. So ChatGPT works like a conversation. The more context you give it, the better it performs. You can choose different model types at the top here, like GPT-4 or 5, which offer better reasoning and longer memory. There's also a thinking right here. I have the Plus membership, so it automatically goes to ChatGPT 5, and I don't have any limitations on how many prompts I can do a day. And I just kind of have it auto, so sometimes it will think a little longer to give me better responses or more thorough responses depending on what I'm doing, okay? So I use a lot of Excel spreadsheets. So a lot of times I'm trying to figure out formulas to make my job a lot easier, okay? And what that'll do is it'll cause it to think longer and harder about how to do it. But there's certain ways to prompt ChatGPT, and that's what we're getting into today, is how to prompt ChatGPT like a pro. So the key is this: you got to treat ChatGPT like a person with a specific role. The clearer you request, the smarter the result. So we're going to go over here and we're going to type in a simple prompt. We're going to say, write me an email. So sure, what would you like the email to be about? Who is it addressed to? Okay. Now, it's kind of obviously this is a generic result, right? I'm just showing a kind of a simple prompt and how it's going to respond back to you. Now, let's see what we get when we get more specific. Act as a professional marketing assistant. Write a short, upbeat email inviting customers to a spring sale. Gives you the subject: spring into savings. Our biggest sale of the season is here. Hi, and then you'd enter the first name. Spring is in full bloom and so are the savings. For a limited time, enjoy up to 40% of your favorite items during our spring sale event. Refresh your look, blah, blah, blah. You can read the rest. You even asked me right here, would you like me to tailor for a specific business type? So that's kind of showing you how far along ChatGPT has become. It's no longer like a Google search engine. It's really, really advanced, and they're updating to new versions such as ChatGPT 5 more and more often. So you can kind of see the difference there. And that's called prompt framing. You're giving it a role, you're giving it a tone, and you're giving it a goal. The whole objective when you're prompting the ChatGPT is to be as clear and concise as possible. So the formula I use for every ChatGPT prompt is this: role plus task plus context plus format. This structure helps ChatGPT understand who it is, what to do, why it matters, and how to deliver the answer. So let's go back to the screen here and let's do an example here. You are a YouTube content strategist. Write a video title and description for a tutorial about using ChatGPT for productivity. The context: the audience is entrepreneurs and students. The format: 2 catchy titles and 1 short description under 100 words. It gives you right here the title, stop wasting time, little description here. So by breaking it down like this, you're getting responses that are tailored, creative, and instantly usable. And let's do another example here. So you are a math tutor. Explain what derivatives in calculus as if teaching a 10-year-old. Use analogies and simple examples. And it goes through what's a derivative, examples, another analogy, a little in short thing, basically a little summary here. So notice how you can use a ChatGPT as a personal teacher for any subject. You're not just getting an answer, you're getting the full understanding, the full picture of what you're prompting it to do. And here's where the magic happens. ChatGPT gets smarter when you refine its output. So think of it as a creative partner, and let's go through some examples of follow-ups, and you can kind of see how it'll add a creative element to what you're trying to produce. Okay, so I put, write me a 5-paragraph essay on the importance of healthy nutrition. Let's see what it pumps out. Sure, here's a well-constructed 5-paragraph essay on the importance of healthy nutrition, written at an accessible and professional level. So you can read through here, right? I'm not going to go through it all. I'll read the first paragraph. Healthy nutrition is one of the most important factors in maintaining a strong body and a sharp mind. The food we eat directly affects our energy, mood, and overall health. So now let's prompt it with this here. We're refining the responses here, okay? So now we're going to input, make this 20% shorter, but keep the tone friendly. And as you can see, the paragraphs are getting 20% shorter. Healthy nutrition is one of the most important parts of staying strong, focused, and full of energy. The food we eat directly affects how we feel and how well our bodies work. You're adding layers here where you're refining, refining, and refining. So let's add this here. Rewrite this to sound more confident and professional. Okay, healthy nutrition is a foundation of physical strength, mental clarity, and long-term wellness. The food we eat directly influences our energy, mood, and ability to perform at our best. A balanced diet provides essential nutrients our body needs to function efficiently, repair cells, and maintain a strong immune system. Now, this is where I think it gets really cool. So, if you ever decide to get into content creation, ChatGPT will never replace the creativity of a human, but it can be there to be an assistant to help guide you into different things or make your tasks shorter. So, for example, let's go here. Give me a version that fits in a 60-second YouTube short script. Okay, and right there, it breaks it down for us in a 60-second script. What you eat shapes everything, your energy, focus, and even your mood. Healthy nutrition isn't about strict dieting. It's about your body, the fuel it needs to perform at its best. Now, so you can keep narrowing it down until it feels just right. And you can even ask it to critique its own work. And this is kind of a cool feature. So let's prompt it one more time here. So it says, review your last answer. What would you improve for clarity and impact? Okay, what works well? Structure. So it's breaking down what it did well and then what could be improved. So it says that you have a stronger hook, more specific examples, tighter transitions, a stronger call to action. So then it improves the script. Want more energy and focus every day? It starts with what's on your plate. So that right there, you can tell right away that it worked on its hook, right? It's very first sentence that it would tell you to read from the script. So that's how you evolve a rough draft into a polished professional result in minutes, and how ChatGPT can be your personal assistant to do the tasks that are going to be much quicker and not as tedious for you yourself to get done. Okay, so let's go over some real examples how you can use ChatGPT day to day. And I'm going to show you a couple different examples here. So the first one here, write a polite but firm email asking for a project deadline extension, right? A lot of us can relate to that at work. Dear so-and-so, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to reach out regarding the project name that's currently due. Despite my best efforts to stay on schedule, briefly explain a reason, have made it difficult to complete the work on the standard it deserves. So it kind of gives you like a short, you're still inputting your reasoning and stuff into there for the reason the project would get delayed, right, and on submission. But what ChatGPT will give you is an outline and make it look professional. We could even break this down even further. So write a polite but firm email asking for a project deadline extension. We could also include the reasons for that, and it would automatically generate the results for that. So for example here, so we could even prompt it to include that reason. So right here, I put the reason needed for a project deadline extension is because my dog ate my homework, right? So it's going to generate a new response here. The reason I need an extension is because my dog ate my homework. Rewrite it to include that reason. You're so-and-so. I hope you're doing well. I'm reaching out regarding project name. And you could even include that to get even more of a specified result from ChatGPT. Unfortunately, I ran into an unexpected situation. My dog actually got into my work materials and damaged what I had completed. I realize this sounds like the classic excuse, but it truly happened, and I've had to start over on the part of the assignment. Look at that. It even comes up with look at that reasoning there. I realize this sounds like the classic excuse, but it truly happened. That just shows how intuitive ChatGPT is becoming. It's becoming smarter and smarter, and it's really picking up on the human adaptability in our everyday lives. So let's look at another example, why we use ChatGPT day to day, right? So, okay, let's look at something for planning here. Make a 3-day workout plan for a beginner who only has dumbbells. Look at that. It gives you a schedule, 3 non-consecutive days, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, equipment structure, tempo. Look, it gives you a whole full body workout for day 1, day 2, jumping jacks, arm swings, shoulder rolls, torso twists, lower body and core. Even includes warm-ups for you. Workouts, cool down times, even gives suggested tips down here. Rest 45 to 60 seconds between sets, excuse me. Focus on form over weight. Increase dumbbell load only when you can complete all reps with perfect form. Look at that. And it even suggests, because I have the paid plus subscription, even asks, would you like me to make a printable version PDF or spreadsheet to track sets, reps, progress week by week? I mean, it'll suggest a printable version even if you don't have the plus subscription, but it will only generate so many responses and results and images, PDF files when you don't have the paid version of it. Okay, another thing you can even use it for is things like content creation. Again, I wouldn't rely on ChatGPT for the creativity part of things, but use it as your personal assistant. So generate 10 YouTube title ideas for a channel about AI and automation. And right here, AI has just replaced 10,000 workers and no one noticed. Even divides it into section, future of work and society, a practical and educational topics, 5 AI tools that can replace an entire office staff. Even will suggest me thumbnail ideas and short video hook lines. I mean, it's crazy what this thing is doing. You could even upload PDFs on there and say, summarize this PDF with 5 bullet points with action items. It's very capable of doing things like that. You could even do a personal life touch where we can input this prompt here. Write me a birthday message for my sister that's heartfelt but funny. You've officially reached that age where your back goes out more than you do, but don't worry, you're still younger than you'll be next year. Seriously, though, I'm so grateful to have you in my life. You're not just my sister, you're my built-in best friend, therapist, and occasional partner in crime. Life's better and way funnier with you around. So as you can see in these examples, it's like having an assistant, a tutor, a creative partner, all in one window, and it'll work as well as you allow it to work. It's so key to pick up those principles I mentioned earlier on how to prompt ChatGPT. So let's level up here with a few pro tips on using ChatGPT. Let's go here and let's say, we're sticking with the nutrition theme here. Okay. Gives a little outlines here, a little longer, a little bigger than I wanted it to show us an example. I could stay short in this, but I'm not going to take the time to do that. Okay. And then, so you can do things like this. You can prompt it based on the outline you just gave me, write the introduction paragraph. Maintaining good health starts with what you put in your plate. The food you eat directly fuels your body, supports your organs, and determines how energized, focused, and resilient you feel each day, blah, 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 and so on. You guys get the picture here. And so then we can turn this into like a persona prompt here. We can say, so we can kind of use this to turn into persona prompts. We can input here, act as a YouTube coach who helps creators write viral hooks. Look at this. From this point forward, I'll act as your YouTube coach, focus on crafting viral hooks, intros, and maximize watch time, curiosity, and emotion. Write scroll stopping hooks, use psychology-based triggers, match hooks. To start coaching you effectively, would you like me to focus on your AI and automation channel first or another one of your channels? Okay, once you confirm, I'll generate 10 viral hooks tailored to that niche. Okay, that with notes on why each one works. It acts as your own personal assistant. You're starting to see why. Another thing too is that you can actually do memory prompts in ChatGPT so that it stores it into its data, into its memory, and it's never going to forget this going forward. So for example, we can input, remember my writing style for future prompts, friendly, professional, and slightly humorous. Okay, and it says update saved memory. Got it. I'll keep your friendly, professional, and slightly humorous tone in mind for future prompts. And right here, you can see it says updated saved memory. So the key is also to build context over time. Each message layers understanding, like training your own personal assistant, your own personal AI. So before we wrap up, there's 3 common mistakes that can make ChatGPT underperform. Being too vague, like write me something. Asking for everything at once, like make me a business plan, logo, and slogan. Okay, when you put all that into one prompt, it's going to give you results that are way too broad, way too vague. The clear and concise formatting is the key to this. Just like you learned in school, the what, where, when, how, and who. That's how you need to think of prompting ChatGPT to get the best clear results. Okay, the last mistake I see a lot of people make is not refining. So you need to treat ChatGPT like a collaborator and not a vending machine, just always expecting boom, 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 something else. Collaborate as in let's brainstorm ideas, let's see how we can implement this, and so on, right? So if you get a weak answer, don't restart, just refine your prompt. You'll get way better results this way. So now you know how to use ChatGPT like a pro, not just to ask questions, but to build ideas. If this helped, hit like, subscribe, and comment your favorite prompt below. I might even feature it in the next video.